good afternoon. Sean, I want to say that I was voted by my massive Irish family, of which I'm the youngest in my generation, as the bossiest member of the family. And most of them are teachers. I was utterly shocked. Anyway, we can talk about that later. So my name's Mary, and I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole on the internet before I came here this afternoon. And I want to read you a list of names, okay? And what I'd like you to do is this is a list of names, a list of the top names of 2025, okay? And what I'm trying to do here is just gauge how trendy you all are, really. So if you know a child with this name, just give me a wave. I'm not going to pick on you. You're safe, okay? It's fine. Don't worry. It's a safe room. But if you know a child with a name on this list, I just want you to give you a little wave as I'm going through. So these are the girls' names, okay? We've got Poppy. Anyone know a Poppy? Yeah, good. Luna. Luna?
No, a dog name.
Yeah, okay. Bella?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Daisy?
Yeah.
Anyone? Oh, lots, yeah, brilliant. Ruby? Anyone know a Ruby?
Yeah.
Nice, okay, well, you're doing really well. Boy's name's Teddy. Yeah. Milo? I've got a nephew called Milo. Alfie? Yeah. Buddy? Slightly off, might not be a West Midlands one, I think. Charlie? Yeah. So those names, I think they wouldn't be at all out of place in like a middle class preschool in Harborne, would they? They're actually on the Four Paws website as the best dog names of 2025. And it just got me thinking, you know, at what point does a human name also become appropriate for a dog? You know, because there are some names on there that are perfect, like Sam and Max, and you know, we've got an Alfie, and there are other names that just don't work. Like I used to take my dogs to a park in Coventry when I lived there on an early morning walk, and we used to meet this lovely, graceful, elegant greyhound called Kevin. Who calls their dog Kevin? And my wife, a few years back, was in a post office behind a woman with a lovely golden yellow Labrador called Carol. I don't understand it. Who is naming their dogs these things? And it got me thinking about, you know, there's that phrase, isn't there? Don't give a dog a bad name because they'll live up to it. And I think we fucked up in our household because we have two dogs, a Whippet and a Whippet Cross. And the older one, we have given him the most fucking pretentious name. He is called Elric, okay? Bear with me. We're very into our medieval history, and he's a Whippet, so he's looks like one of those dogs on tapestries, right? So we actually went down a list of early medieval names to work out what to call him. It has the advantage that there is no other dog in the park with that name. So a little bit awkward at the vet because we even spelt it in a Ponzi where it's got a diphthong at the beginning with the A and E smooshed together. And the receptionist comes out and goes, Eric. And oh my God, he is the biggest fucking princess you have ever met. That dog tiptoes around puddles. And he is such a diva. You know, in the evening when you've had a hard day at work and you just want to, particularly in the winter, you want to snuggle up under a blanket and watch TV, yeah? All the blankets are around the dog. We spend our entire time getting up off the sofa to rearrange the Whippet's blankets. It's ridiculous. So yeah, don't give your dog a Ponzi name because he will just rule your life. But so yeah, that was my little thing of this morning. But it got me think. I often think about kind of names and identity, and you know why I'm called Mary. Because let's face it. It doesn't suit me, does it? Do I look like a Mary to you? No, not even slightly. I can tell you why I'm called Mary. I'm the third child. My mum was tired. I was born in May. Yeah, it's that good. Anyway, but it might surprise you to learn that when I was 24, I got married to a man. Because I know what you're all thinking. Yeah, I know. You took one look at me and you went, but Mary, surely you're a lesbian. That's what we all thought. And you would be absolutely right. But what you have to understand understand is that I grew up in Norfolk in the 1980s, and they hadn't invented lesbians back then. So how was I supposed to know? You know, I hadn't got a clue. And when I came out, nobody was at all surprised, not even apparently my soon-to-be ex-husband, who actually literally said, yeah, I always thought you might have been a lesbian. I have so many questions about that. Anyway, and, you know, I can understand why all my friends were kind of like, yeah, we kind of saw it coming. Because, you know, I've always had a tendency to wear sort of suits and brogues. In fact, Phil dressed specially this afternoon, rather, because he knew I was on. We have a slight sartorial competition. So much so I've done this, you know, ever since I was a young adult. So much so that I think I'm fairly certain my late mum, thought I might be trans. And bless her, even in Norfolk in the 1980s, she was completely cool with that. I'm not. I personally can't imagine why I would ever want to swap nice, soft, warm breasts for it's got veins. Mind a minute there. Visual imagination is a really bad problem at that point. But I've always been very impressed by, you know, people who have a very clear sense of their own identity. Like, for example, my eldest daughter, who, when she was in her late teens, came to me very seriously and said, Mum, I've been thinking about this long and hard, and I feel I have to tell you, I'm straight. And she said, you know, I can understand that women are aesthetically beautiful, but oh, hang on, I need both hands for this. This is very important. It's a visual gag. You'll be foiled by the microphone stand. There we go. Okay. I'm going to have to do that down here. That's not going to work. Anyway, we're fine. I'm a musician. I can do this. The tripod's the wrong way around. There we go. Talk amongst yourselves, I'll be back in a minute. So she said, I can understand that women are aesthetically beautiful. She said, but I just don't like their wobbly bits. And so I held in my reaction and I said, Jess, I love you, and I have suspected this for a long time. And I support your life choices. It's fine. I've got quite high hopes of your sister. But also, they're the best bits! There's my wife, who is currently filming me in the audience, so I'll try not to be too mean. But she knew at the age of 4 that she liked women more than men. And she didn't have a name for it, she put a label on it. She grew up in Bristol, so I'm pretty certain they had invented lesbians by the 80s. But you know, she was a little girl. And she was watching Calamity Jane with her family. And to this day, Catherine has not forgiven Clam for ditching the best friend Katie to, in Catherine's words, marry some sweaty, hairy cowboy. Quite frankly, I'm with her on that. And she's never looked back. But me, I don't know, I've always found identity slightly difficult, you know? I've never quite been able to pin down exactly who or what I feel like. I suspect, if I was a young adult now, I've got a feeling I probably would identify as non-binary. But quite frankly, I'm a perimenopausal woman and I just cannot be asked. You know, it's just too much effort. So I've also I've never kind of been comfortable adopting that sort of butch lesbian label either, which I think a lot of people probably view me as a kind of a butch type lesbian. And don't get me wrong, I love a power tool, right? I have 4 different Sanders, 4, and a tool belt. But I really love dressing up, and I love glitter. And so I've decided that there must be some alternate universe where I was born, and I grew up to be, I was born as a boy, rather, that's important for you to understand. Was born as a boy, and I grew up to be a drag queen, because I think that would be perfect. But being a kind of slightly androgynous woman makes it, I have a really hard time shopping for clothes. And there's a huge long list of stuff I won't wear, stuff I don't like. You know, I don't like pink, and I don't like things with butterflies or flowers or frills or anything like that. I don't wear skirts, generally. But for the love of God, give me proper pockets.
Yes!
Right? I knew you'd get this. What is it about women's clothes and pockets? You know, these trousers, I put this on today. It's got pockets. You know, that's not all trousers do if you're a woman. I can get my finger that far in. That's smaller than an non-applicated tampon. What use is that? And if I do manage to stuff one in there, perimenopausal, I don't have to worry about that much. But if I do manage to stuff one in there, for God's sake, don't sit down, because the little fucker's going to roll out, go onto the table next door. Men's trousers have pockets so deep that they can put their phone and their wallet, bunch of keys, bit of loose change. They've still got some space in there to have a quick fumble when they're bored, haven't they? Well, I have a theory about this. I reckon it's a conspiracy by handbag manufacturers. You know? You've not got any space in your pockets for your stuff. Don't worry, love, buy a nice handbag. Lovely. Look, it matches your shoes. I can't carry a handbag. I'd look like I was in really dodgy drag. It just doesn't work. And besides, you all know, women among you who do carry handbags, you all know what happens if you are the person carrying a handbag, don't you? Everybody else puts their shit in it. You go out with your teenage daughters. Oh, Mum, can I just stick my phone in your handbag? Is that right? Yeah. Can I put this lotion I just bought in Boots in your handbag? Oh, thanks, lovely. Can I possibly put this really heavy hardback book I bought in your handbag? I didn't want to buy a bag because you don't like the environment. And I know that this is true. Do you know how I know this is true? Because that's what I do. Thank you very much. You've been fab. Enjoy the rest of the day. Take care. Give it up for Mary Mara.